share with you how I ended up on the strangest journey and in the midst of something that I have no idea how I ended up doing it. But I'm going to tell you the story, and it's interesting. I will tell you towards the end what I'm even talking about. But for now, I want you to really get a glimpse of how I was feeling in the beginning of this journey. My friend Shelly, who is a nurse, she was just adamant that she wanted me with her and to join her in using this certain product. And I was like, no, I am never doing that. I am never going to buy, sell, use, nothing. So the answer is no, the answer is never.
Fast forward.
I was at the Waffle House with my friend Amy. These are real witnesses, and they can tell you this is the honest truth, how this all went down. So Amy looked at me and she said, what is that place on your arm? Is that and I can't tell you what it was because there are all these rules, these FDA, what's the word? Whatever the word is, it's satisfying to the FDA. Not FDA approved, but compliant. FDA compliant, and I have to be FDA compliant, so I can't actually tell you what my issue was because I want to honor their rules. So I had this issue, and I said, yes, that's the issue, and no, I'm not going to the doctor because I'm tired of being cut on because I kind of had a serious issue with this. And she was like, oh. And I said, well, you know what? God will come and He will handle it for me or He won't, but I'm not going to the doctor. Now, I know some of you may be thinking that that is just absolutely wrong of me to have that attitude. And it is. When we have stuff going on with our bodies, we should go to the doctor and check it out. But I'm just telling you, I was in a place that said, no, I'm not doing that.
Fast forward.
That afternoon, I completely forgot about this conversation at the Waffle House. But my son, who was 16 at the time, came to me and said, Mom, couldn't we please see what Miss Shelly's talking about? Because I'm having real trouble sleeping, and I've heard that that product can help you with sleep issues. And I was like, oh, seriously? But it was my son. And I was like, okay, we'll go. So we go to Shelly's house that night. We sit at a table. She pulls out this thing that looked like a humidifier to me, and 11 bottles, little bottles of stuff, and I'm like, what is this? I didn't know if it was some kind of incense or what we were doing, but my son wanted to do it, and so we were there. She goes around, and I'll tell you this, one of those bottles, she said, put this on the temples, your temples up here, and I did, and oh my goodness. Now, it was enough that certainly I would have bought that bottle because I was like, okay, I get it. I get that is, I'm having to hold this to make this video. Sorry. I know it's not professional at all. That's not a good light, right? Anyways, I'll hold it like this because my arm is getting so tired of holding this. I really need a selfie stick, but no, I'll be fine. So here's what happened. I put it on, I'm like, oh, that's really kind of crazy that is so powerful. It just made me feel awake and alert and not tired, and my head had been hurting and no more head hurt. So she goes through all the rest of the bottles, and I'm just kind of, oh, wow, what in the world would I ever do with 11 of those? So I'm about to leave. Of course, I end up buying it. I'm like, okay, if Zach wants it, we'll get it. And purchase it, and we're about to leave. And she says to me, you know, She said they're putting this certain thing on what happens to be your skin issue. They're using that and they're having great success. People are getting better. And I was like, seriously? You mean like the same thing that the wise men took to Jesus and they're putting it on there and they're getting better? I was that blind to the importance of what I'm about to tell you. It was the oils. And I know people talk about the oils, and may I share with you, I was skeptical. I was terrible. I was still looking at her going, okay, I'm so sure that I'm going to put this oil on my arm that has a problem and it's just going to get better. But may I tell you that in 3 days, after 3 days of applying it, indeed, it got better. It really did. It started healing in 3 days, but it took a while. It was about 2 weeks before it was gone. I went to the doctor, one of the leading hospitals in the world, because I live in Birmingham, Alabama, and they said indeed that it was gone. So, at that point, I began to share my story. I would share it with everybody. I would be in J.C. Penney's and sharing and crying because it made me cry because I was humbled over the fact that I didn't know. You know, I'd lived my whole life and I didn't know about these oils. Since then, I have been on quite a journey. May I tell you, I hit silver pretty quickly. I think simply because I was walking around giving out my distributor number saying, hey, you can use my discount number and whatever your problem is, I think we can help you with it. And people were buying, but I wasn't trying to sell. I didn't even know it was that you could, like, that there was a commission or anything like that. Nor did I care. I was so overwhelmed by the product itself. They were beautiful to me. I looked at them and I thought that I had received an alabaster box. Eventually, I will tell you in the beginning, when I didn't know what silver was. I did not know what silver was. And I found myself at some kind of Young Living big convention thing. People were there from France and they put me in an apron. Me saying how fast I'd hit silver, and people were saying, how'd you do it? How'd you hit silver so fast? And I was like, well, tell me what silver is and maybe I can figure that out, because I had no idea. As a matter of fact, I got a big check in the mail and called Young Living to say that I thought they'd made a mistake, that I'd received a check, and they said, well, that's how much you've sold. And I said, no, I don't sell oils, because remember, I was never going to sell oils, but I definitely was sharing them. I was sharing them left and right with anybody who would listen to me. It was such a fun time. And at one point when I got my big silver in 6, I had no idea what I was going to do with all of those oils, and my daddy suggested that I sell them on eBay. So thankful that did not happen, don't you know?